Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Here we are, Tanis and
Chris from Tanis Fiber Arts.
And we decided to film a podcast today because I needed to get out of my pajamas. Because when you don't leave the house, there's very little motivation to get dressed.
That's right. This is what, day 5 officially of our...
I don't know. Kids were home Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Is it Tuesday? So I guess day 5. So look, it's not like it's been that long and that much of a hardship for us so far. And we're not on total lockdown. We're in Montreal, and we're just on social isolation.
Distancing, we'll say, not full isolation.
Distancing. Social distancing. The schools are canceled, or closed, I should say. Like, a lot of businesses are closed or closing. We're trying to stay home as much as possible, but we're allowed to go outside, and which I know isn't the case everywhere. I posted videos of the kids on their scooters, and somebody was like, "Oh, that'd be so nice. I'm stuck." Somebody from Spain commented that they're on total lockdown. The kids can't leave the house. Like, we're not there yet.
Yeah, tough times for a lot of people.
But we could be headed there if we don't do what we're told.
Follow the protocol and be respectful of the impact it has on not just our family, but everybody at large, right? Yeah.
So we're being super vigilant. I think we're taking it really seriously, and part of it is because I'm a rule follower. And then the other part is because in my family, I'm one of 4 siblings. 2 of my siblings are doctors who are hyper aware of this and dealing with this. They're really seeing the impact of it. And then
one has a partner who's a respirologist.
One has a partner who's a respirologist.
In the eye of the storm.
The other has my brother's wife is an emerge doctor, so she's seeing a lot of everything. And then my 4th sibling, who's not a doctor, he's an epidemiologist in Montreal, working on the coronavirus. So we're getting
anybody in that field, I think, has been, according to him, rerouted. It's just everything non-essential is on hold to try solve this.
So I mean, and I don't think that I guess that sort of having those people in my family and these people in contact, like, I just see the talking to them and how stressed they are and how serious they're taking it. These are the people we get our information from and our advice from, and it's serious, and we're taking it very seriously.
It would keep any cavalier instinct in check if you were like, we're fine. It's not always you. It's not you or your kids. Sometimes it's people that are more vulnerable.
That's right. In our case, us and our kids were not particularly vulnerable. Though I keep seeing stuff that says, like, we're not the most vulnerable demographic. Doesn't mean we're
immune.
That's right. So there is that. But then on the other hand, I've seen a bunch of people who just don't seem to be. They don't think that. They're like, it's a sham, or what's it really going to do? And it's like, it won't do anything with that attitude.
Not helpful. Yeah. No. Not helpful.
So we're doing our part. We're staying in, and as
you guys are too, if you're home watching this.
Yes. So maybe, hopefully, I think a lot of people think YouTube. I don't know if YouTube has stocks, but I feel like
we're going way up. Yeah.
Going way up, because I feel like it's a good way to pass the time when you're indoors. But the other thing I wanted to mention is that I lost it. Oh, about us, about our day-to-day.
We'll edit this out in post. Jeff will take care of it, our tech guy.
Right. No, just about how it's affected our business and our day-to-day. And the truth is, it has. So
the day-to-day...
I thought you were going to finish my sentence. It has not.
Not in terms
of
work.
We work from home.
Right.
We work from home. I suspect supplies, like it's possible, stuff like that.
Where we stand now, it hasn't affected our ability to do our day-to-day
And the post office is still open.
But there are some huge changes. One being, Knit City Montreal was canceled, which was a real blow. Something we were looking forward to. Vancouver was awesome, and this was the inaugural East Coast one, and for it to be in our city, we were pretty psyched about it. And to have it canceled is hard on a lot of the organizers and a lot of the vendors. Yeah. Maybe least so us, because of the proximity. We have some stock that was dyed, but we did not have rented hotel rooms. We didn't have rented vans. We didn't have, shipping costs that are non-refundable. So just a little bit of solidarity for vendors and the organizers. just want to say it's rough, and hopefully, you know.
Yeah, well, so a lot of things too with small businesses like ours, you count on these spring, not only spring, but this is the spring markets, like the shows, because Knit City Montreal, the Frolic, which is in April, the Toronto Knitters Frolic, that's another one in our sort of neck of the woods-ish, that they've all been canceled. And we weren't planning on going to the Frolic because we can't multitask, but a lot of businesses were, and this is huge chunks of their income that their projected incomes that now are just gone. And not everybody has. We're an online business, so we do all of our business online. People are still able to shop online. If you're somebody who depended on stores to be purchasing your product,
it's a tougher blow for them
because a lot of stores are having to close their doors temporarily, perhaps not making orders. Like there's just it's such a trickle down effect, and I know, like, you know, in knitting at least, it's not a there's no expiration date, so hopefully all the stock that people have been preparing, they'll be able to find other ways to sell it, either online or just when stores reopen in the future. You know, there's just I have a friend who runs a cheese business.
Yeah, not easy for anyone. And two things that I follow really closely are food industry, like restaurants, and music industry. So touring bands and small restaurants.
Yeah, that's
very,
how they make all their money is on tour.
A lot of people are just out of luck for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. And so we're thankful that our business is flexible. I saw somebody describe their business as nimble, and I feel like that describes ours, that we're, you know, we can sort of, the business can sort of bend to what we need it to be, and so hopefully we can just do as much as we can, sell stuff online. And so the second thing, other than all the show cancellations that's affected our business specifically, is that the schools are canceled. And so it's how ironic that we did last week's episode was about working from home with kids, because now the kids are home full time.
No, it's in practice.
Yeah.
And the reality of that is our absolute max would be 50% of what's normal for us, because only one person can work at a time. Right. You cannot leave 3 kids unattended. This is Willow's nap time, and the boys are being treated to a TV show while we knock this podcast out.
Yeah. So I think for us, that'll be the biggest, how much we're able to produce just with sort of this news schedule sort of thing.
The plus side of it is maybe there's no difference between weekend and weekday now. So I know we used to really rush to, mid-Friday, have everything done to have the weekend free for family time, but we're getting family time spliced in everywhere. Like if it's nice, we're out walking.
Yeah.
We're taking the kids out for bike rides. I dragged the bikes out through the snow early this year, because what else are you going to do, right? We got to get them out, and you got to have fun.
It's unfortunate for us in Montreal, the weather, like we were biking, it was -8 Celsius. Like it was cold.
Yeah, it's still winter.
It's winter. There's snow on all the lawns, but the roads are very clear. It's been dry. Today is the exception. I really hope it's not like this for much longer, but today it was like slushy snow in the morning and then rain, like just kind of a miserable day that you don't want to be outside at all. But if the roads are dry, no matter how cold it is, you can still be out there doing stuff.
Yeah, and it's good to get
on the bikes and stuff like that, because we're beyond snowman or like tobogganing season here in Montreal. So we're really dependent on sidewalk chalk. But our kids are. The good thing for us too is that we're used to spending a lot of time with the kids, because they've never been in daycare full time. And Rowan doesn't go to after school daycare, so he's usually home earlier in the day.
It's just an amped up version of normal life. A lot of people who
work, if you work a regular job, if you work a job outside the home and you only get the weekends with your kids, you're not used to the type of, it's not so much you're not used to the kids as the kids aren't used to being home unstructured. Right. Whereas our kids
I sympathize for those people that are pushed into that situation or find themselves in it now, where you're used to maybe traveling for work or being away from the home for, full days. That this is probably a lot. So good luck to you guys.
Yeah,
for us, it's like a kind of just a super amped up version of our normal day to day.
And so then on that note, I wanted to give a thought. I've been seeing a lot of, particularly on Instagram, it's where I get the majority of my news, a lot of posts with great ideas on almost like homeschooling for kids now that school's canceled. And now our kids are young. We only have one kid in school. He's in grade 1. We're not like dealing with finals or any other than learning to read and learning some basic math stuff. I feel like it's an easy age to miss a couple weeks or
certainly
potentially
less stressful than older kids.
So I want to put out that disclaimer.
Yeah.
So for parents of young kids, I've been seeing a lot of stuff about like games, all this, like basically suggestions on how to be a full-time homeschooler, which isn't really I don't feel that realistic for everybody if you're trying to work from home and be a full-time homeschooler of your kids. I think that it's okay for the kids to watch Disney Plus.
Well, we'll see how it plays out over time, but we...
perhaps more often than you
The thinking behind it was, regardless of how rigorous the teaching is, to have a little bit of structure to the day. That it's not just pajamas, snacks, and lying on the floor in front of the TV till the sun goes down.
Absolutely. I just want people to give themselves a little bit of a break. That you can't be working full-time from home and keeping in touch with your loved ones over phone and email and FaceTime or whatever, and making sure that everybody's safe, and being a full-time homeschooler, and everybody give yourself a break, that's all.
Yeah, ease into it. Who knows how long this is going to be?
Exactly. For now, our situation is only 2 weeks currently. Who knows if that's going to be elongated, whatever. I heard I believe Alberta has canceled school for the remainder of the year. Yeah, and so who knows? I mean, very possible that happens here as well. So we're just... So the Knit City Montreal has been rescheduled for the beginning of July. We're still a question mark as to whether or not we're going to be able to attend that.
Yeah.
I think probably like a lot of people, we just have nobody knows what's going to be happening in the next couple of months and where we'll be and what we'll be doing.
Yeah.
As soon as we know, we'll let you know.
Yeah, so hopefully a lot of things like that. I feel like a lot of the April dates for things have been canceled and rescheduled optimistically for the summer, but it's not going to work out for everybody. Yeah. So we'll see, hopefully. Yeah.
So then, now that is covered, what are we working on now?
What are we working on? We've been dyeing a lot of lovely fades we've been working on.
So we're working on 2 things.
The nature of our days work-wise have been, instead of me going out there planning on being in the studio from 8 in the morning till 4, it's like, go do something nice that'll help the inventory. So we'll pick a fade or come up with one, I'll dye that, and it's usually like a half day's work.
Yeah,
so far
we're
this
doing
week.
Sort of more half. Chris works in the morning, I work in the afternoon type thing.
Yeah.
I'm also trying to limit my trips to the post office rather than going out every single day. I probably will only be shipping once a week.
Yeah. It only makes sense. We do that for shopping. So we were, if you can avoid doing it daily, then do that.
And so we're working on 2 things. Okay, so actually, in case anybody's new to our business model and people don't really know how our shop runs, I just want to give you a super quick rundown. We sell things in 2 ways. Everything...
This is education for me too. I'm not really certain how it runs.
Oh, God. Everything is on our website, tanisfiberarts.com. And if you click on the shop tab, you'll get a drop-down menu. And we have our core collection of products. These are all of our core collection bases in our core collection colorways that are always available at all times. Those are dyed to order. We do have some inventory, like we dye in batches of 8. So if you order 2 of one color, we dye a batch of 8, we send you 2, and then I've got 6 left over in inventory that I use for other things. To fill future orders, or I use for palettes or for kits or whatever else we're making. Just to be super clear, if I have 6 in stock and you order 8, we dye a new batch of 8. We don't do 6. You get everything you order is dyed for you. Everything you order comes from the same batch, is what I'm trying to say. But, so we have all of the products that are in our core collection that are always available to order. And then we have our pop-up shop, which is under the shop tab as well. And that is either colorways that we don't always do. They're not part of our core collection. They're experimental colorways. All of the speckles are currently in the pop-up shop. We don't have any speckles in our core collection for a number of reasons. But that's where you'll find them when we have them. as well as some limited edition bases. I call them limited edition, even though some of them we've had forever. They're just not always available. They're not part of our core collection. There came a time where at one point we had 10 different bases and over 60 different colors that we were working on a die-to-order system, so they were always available to order. And it was just impossible for us to manage in terms of inventory, to have everything available that for any potential order that might come in. And it just wasn't smart. It just wasn't the right way for us to be working. And so our core collection bases are the most popular bases. They're all of our pure wash yarns, pure wash fingering, DK, worsted, chunky. We also offer the DK in half skeins because I do so many colorful projects, and you don't always need a full skein. And then currently we have our blue label stock yarn. I've never announced this anywhere until now, but that's about to be discontinued and replaced with something very exciting.
I was wondering if I could say that. So yeah, the latest to the Pure Wash collection, a new edition, something
the new sock
we developed in terms of...
we worked with her. No, we didn't really develop it.
Did we not?
No.
Okay.
Well, I feel like we were an incentive. We suggest. Anyways. More on that when it's available. Hopefully within the next month, but again, supplies
More on
have
that
been...
when I read the brief.
Yeah. So I don't know about that it's coming from. I think it's made in Europe is where some of the fiber comes from, a mill in Europe. So it's I suspect there will be delays in delivery, but I don't know. At any rate, as soon as we know more about that, you will know about that. But so that's our core collection, and then the pop-up shop. And so in the pop-up shop, we have colorways that we don't always do. We have bases that we don't always stock, and we have fun kits and things that we can make in limited quantities that aren't always available. So one of those things that we're going to be adding, something that I love to make, one of my favorite things that we do here are the Tfa Palettes. I've been doing, I started doing them like the first year we were in business, or the second year, like in our first loft apartment. I started making the palettes.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Like 11 years ago.
Wow.
So we've been in business for 13 years, and I've been making these palettes forever. Mm-hmm. And what they are is 8 different colors of DK weight yarn in half skeins. So you get, I think it's a total of 1,040 yards. So it's a lot of yardage. It's the equivalent of 4 full skeins of DK weight yarn, but divided up into 8 colorways. 8 colorways that coordinate beautifully together, that you can make beautiful sweaters. I started doing them actually for baby blankets, because I designed a baby blanket called the Baby Shane blanket, and I used 8 different colors, but I only needed a half skein of each, and it seemed unreasonable to write a pattern for 8 full skeins for 8 colors, and when I make yarn to sell them in full skeins only, and then you'd have exactly twice as much as you needed. So I started making the palettes so that they'd be half. They were actually first called Baby Shane kits.
Little sidebar, Baby Shane plays the drums and is like almost high school ready at this point.
Yeah, so that's how old they are. And then, I've designed a lot of things with them since. I love working with them. They're really popular for baby blankets. Like Tin Can Knits has a ton of beautiful multicolored baby blankets. You get a palette, maybe another skein or 2 of like a background color to knit something stripey, their bounce blanket, their flyaway blanket, vivid blanket, so many. So we're doing a palette update because I just, last week we released my little Camaro pattern, the junior version of my Camaro sweater that I'm wearing now. It goes from baby all the way up to it goes up to a size 6 to 8, which poses, I've gotten some questions for it, and the reason I stopped at 6 to 8 is because the size 6 to 8 is a 26.5 inch circumference, chest circumference, and the smallest size in the adult sizes is a 29 inch chest circumference, and so were I to do an 8 to 10, like the next size up, there'd be overlap between the adult and the kid, so I just went all the way up to the smallest adult size. And I guess because I started the adult sizes so small, it kind of bumped up off the last child size. If you buy both patterns on Ravelry together, you'll automatically get a discount of $4 off of the combined order. So we're into Camaros, we're into palettes, and I've got a ton of palettes put together, just special. Chris helped me pull a bunch of DK weight palettes yesterday. That was really fun.
That was fun. Yeah, I don't think the bulk of mine didn't last without
Yes, they
adjusting.
did.
Some of
No, they
them,
totally
some of them
did.
are added to the. We're looking at them on the floor right now.
Because we've got them
They're
all
laid
lined
out,
up
ready to be
throughout.
split.
And then I've got it. Yeah.
Can we say that it's that we're working on it for next Wednesday?
Yes.
Yeah.
So do you know what date that is?
Absolutely not.
Tomorrow, Wednesday the 18th, plus 7. 25th?
Yeah, there you go.
So next Wednesday the 25th, we're going to have a pop-up shop. We do updates on Wednesdays, not every Wednesday. I hesitated to say that because we won't have a pop-up shop update tomorrow because we just don't have inventory for it. But when we do have inventory to update the pop-up shop, we do it on Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. So, because I don't always send out a newsletter ahead of time saying like what's in the shop. It's often kind of a little bit last minute. And so you just check it on Wednesday morning. If there's something new to add, it will have been added. And if not, come back next week. And so lots of palettes this week, which I'm really excited about because I love the palettes. I really want to cast on another Camaro.
Another one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you were talking about doing one for Rowan. Someone showed a picture
That's right.
of their son wearing one, kind of comparable age. And for whatever reason, Tan had thought the V-neck wouldn't look great. And it looks super good on a boy. And I think Rowan could pull it off no problem.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was I hadn't considered it as a pattern for boys. I'd really been
I had
thinking of
thought,
it as
with one caveat, the clasp in the back with the button, I feel like it would look better for a big kid without that.
Yes. Well, I should add that, I think, to the Ravelry notes, to the
Maybe.
notes on the page, is that, I put a button closure on the back of the kid size sweater because for the smaller sizes, I think it's important to make sure that it can comfortably get over a baby's head without tugging or being tight.
Over a baby's adorable giant head.
Yeah, and because our babies have all been very sensitive to pulling sweaters over their heads if it's too tight.
Still are.
Yes, still are. Rowan is really particular about that. So, but in the bigger kid sizes, I think that the feedback that I got from my testers is that it can fit without the button, and so that's an option.
Yep.
But yeah, I was thrilled to see that it looked so at home. It looked so sporty. Like it isn't. There's nothing inherently feminine about about it.
I would call it, if anything, just fashion forward, and Rowan fits that bill pretty well. Mike is stepping his game up too. We have our kids are really into their own outfits. Willow's a nightmare. She won't even let me put pajamas on without picking a coordinating outfit.
Yeah, she's really particular about what she wears.
I feel like Micah gets the least credit out of our three kids for being, a fashion maven.
For caring about what he wears.
But the other day he has a wolf turtleneck, which is pretty awesome in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
You found that one. It's so cool. And it's got some yellow, blue, and a tiny bit of green. And I looked down, and he was wearing socks with a paint splatter motif in the exact colors. So I don't know if he had planned it or just subconsciously. Either way, he gets full points for it.
Yeah, I love seeing the kids pick their own clothes and decide, like, have their favorite things that they like to wear.
They're all stepping it up.
Yeah. And I really love, so Willow, our baby, who's 2, she loves wearing black.
Yeah.
She wants to wear, like, this black hoodie all the time. It's like, she's got all these super cute little clothes. And
she's got another fashion-related quirk that's really, really great, is she likes to walk around. She's anti-glove. So in shopping centers, wherever, if you're walking with her, she's got her hands in her pockets, but she's the size of a doll. So she's just walking around with her hands in her pockets, and people lose it.
It's very so cute. Chris got free ice cream.
Yeah, a lady. This is a while back, so it's got I wasn't out shopping with the babies during the coronavirus.
This is pre-coronavirus.
Right. This is like a month ago or so, and we were out shopping, and a lady took ice cream out of her cart and said, "This is for your daughter." Because Willow was just
she had already paid
so
for
cute.
It, though,
yeah,
right?
we were leaving.
We were leaving.
We were both leaving to the parking lot.
She bought her ice cream.
She was like, "Can I give your daughter this?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure."
Isn't that funny?
It's a new level of cute.
I think the ice cream was on sale, but still.
She had a lot. If it wasn't, so there was like 20.
So it was an odd situation, but you took the ice cream.
I took the ice cream. Yeah.
Have we eaten it? We should make sure
I've tested it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Well,
personally.
Good. Make sure it's safe.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. So that's that. But then what I wanted to say about the palettes is how much I love the palettes. And we've got an exciting palette coming back.
Do we?
Yeah, look on everything thing you dyed yesterday.
Oh yeah, of course, the rainbow palette, the old school one. Old school. It's funny. It's I feel like in our timeline, speckles are still kind of an exciting thing for me. But I had to dig back in the recipe book for some of those. They haven't come up in a while, which is a lot of fun for people that, maybe
I get requests
them.
for that. So do you know what it is that we made this rainbow. There's going to be, I'm going to put pictures of it as we're speaking right now. Pictures of it on the screen.
And I'm going to kind of speak this into making it a necessity, but we were going to do a modified version of that too. We're going to take a look at that one and see if I can do one with things we've invented since we had that. So.
Oh, so we're doing two?
Should I make...
We'll see. If we think that we can top it. So do you know what's interesting?
I don't want to lock it in on here.
No, this is what's interesting is that we haven't done this in a while because we did this palette with some of the first speckles that we had developed. This beautiful speckled rainbow. But since then, we've done so many other speckly, rainbowy colors that I keep thinking, okay, yeah, it's time. We got to do a new speckled rainbow. I'm sure all those colors that we did before, we can do better. Like, we can top them.
Yeah.
And then Chris dyed it. And should I get them?
Yeah, you get half, I get half.
I'll get them. You stay there.
How can you get all 8? Sorry, I didn't mean to leave you guys alone.
You think I can't carry 8 skeins of yarn at a time?
Yeah, you are the worst at carrying anything. I'm surprised you made it over here. You should see her carrying empty bags, or like if you gave her a bag full of crepe paper. And
once my dad, I pulled into his driveway and I'm walking up the steps. Oh, look who's good at carrying. He rushes out the door and he's like, here, let me help you with that. I was carrying an empty shoebox.
Yeah. Yeah, she makes it, it's like mime. She's like, everything looks like it's lead.
It's very funny. So,
there you go, old school rainbow.
So, from my left, this is Poolside, Atlas, Grassroots, and Mimosa. And Chris has Paisley,
Juliet, Smitten, and Luna.
And I just love it the way it is.
I do too. You know what? And Luna is one that we kind of, it got pushed to the back because it was very difficult to get consistently, but without bragging, maybe I've just gotten a little better at getting the results I want.
Hopefully.
I can control it a
wouldn't
little
that be
bit
nice?
Wouldn't that... feel like shots fired.
So I had Chris dyed all these colors, and we were going to look at it and see whether some of the colors should be switched out, if we could do better. The area that I was concerned about was the section that Chris is holding, the Paisley, Juliet, Smitten. I was like, is it too much pinky red? Like, there's a lot of pink. I thought maybe we should get like a proper purple in there. Mm-hmm. I'm really torn because I think that it makes it really kind of interesting to not have a full blown
I feel
purple.
like it fades nicely into the yellow there, where the purple would kind of stick out and break up the flow of it.
Well, the purple wouldn't go next to the yellow, honey.
I guess if you think conventionally.
Okay, there you go. So we've got a bunch of these. I'm going to make these into palettes. If you've been thinking about these, we haven't done them in probably like 3 years. So if 3 years ago you saw them and liked it, maybe 2 years, and you were hoping for one,
can I put these down?
You've waited. Your time, the time is coming. Yes, we can put them down. So that's. I'm excited about those because it's a really fun palette, and I'm excited to have that available. And then I've got a ton of other really fun palettes as well that I put them together, and I just want to make a sweater on every single one of them.
With 8 colors, there's an infinite amount of possibilities for them. Like doing it yesterday with overstock on the shelves, basically, you can really go wild with it.
Yeah, they're super fun. So next Wednesday, we're going to have a ton of those. So if you've been thinking about a baby blanket or a Camaro or Crazy Heart, another one of my patterns that use a lot of colors in the yoke. There's a bunch of patterns. It's just anything striped, just like going. Or somebody purchased a really pretty pastel palette from us. I don't know if I told you this, and she posted in my Ravelry group that each half skein is the perfect amount to make like a newborn baby bonnet and booties.
Oh yeah.
So she's got like this gorgeous rainbow of bonnets and booties. I'm not sure what she's doing with them, but it's so cute. And so then other than that, we'll have a bunch of DK weight as well, and probably a lot of the same colors, and then more colors in the pop-up shop. And we're trying to do some fingering and more fades too, because I have a faded sweater design coming out soon. So this will be, you know,
Yeah.
we got fades on the brain. We're just...
On a positive note, those are great days for me when I get to do colors that I haven't seen in a little
Yeah,
while.
that's fun.
You know?
And another positive note, I have to say, I've been seeing a lot of this on social media, and I believe it to be true that, like, we're so lucky to be knitters and crafters and to have something to do to, like, to stay busy when we're at home, to sort of, like, forced meditate. Like, I really find that knitting is kind of like meditation for me, because I can sort of zone
I agree.
out.
Yeah.
Even if you can't zone out, if you have to focus on your pattern, well, then you're focusing on something productive, something positive.
Yeah.
It's just really wonderful. And then I was feeling a little bit down, just because everybody has days like that. I don't think it was necessarily specific coronavirus down. I was just like low energy, just whatever. Came into the office and started making palettes, and like immediately perked up.
Sure.
Like just got excited about color, got excited about knitting. And I mean, I don't think it's going to solve all of our global problems, but it is really nice to have something positive to focus on.
If you do happen to knit or are looking to pick it up and learn, it's what an amazing,
It's a gift.
stress relieving,
Yes, that's why it's really
anxiety
important.
reducing
I think
activity for now.
Yeah, and a lot of people get. I've posted some photos. Our 6-year-old knits. He knows how to knit. He's not like an obsessive knitter like I am, but every once in a while he'll pick up, knit a couple of rows on his little garter stitch scarf that he's making, and he's got the skills now. He can knit. And if I post a little video or a little photo of him knitting, I always get comments from people saying things like, "Wow, what a great like life skill you've given him," you know, and they're complimenting me, and I'm very happy about that. You know, it's lovely, but also then it's like, yes, this is a life skill.
Super savvy parenting also to get him into it before the telephone video game era starts for him, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, to have that as something you could fall back on that's not staring at a screen is great.
Yes, although I'm staring at my patterns on my pattern PDF on my screen.
I can't. I have to print them out.
Yeah, Chris is old school.
Yeah, no use to me on a phone.
So yeah, everybody's just knitting, enjoying colors, trying to make the most of our forced family time, which honestly, forced family time makes it sound negative, when really it's...
A lot of it's been super great. The mornings are less of a rush. We don't have to get anyone out to the bus, so, I mean, feels like
also, we're on, like, as we've said, this is the third day of no school, so we're like,
yeah, check in
cavalier,
for the
no
next
bus,
next
it's
episode
awesome.
when we're wearing pots on our head and
Yeah.
defending ourselves with broomsticks.
But there you go. So that's the update from us here. I don't feel like we gave a really big business update other than hopefully business as usual, except for production might be a little bit less since we're full-time parenting as well as trying to part-time work. So
Yeah.
we'll do our best, support small businesses. I think, you know, I'm sure that if you're active online whatsoever, you've been seeing a lot of that where it's like, as I say, but like restaurants, cafes, businesses that really are really going to suffer from this. And it's, I mean, I don't know, there's so many. It's such a trickle-down effect too, because it's not just the restaurateur who's losing money. It's obviously the staff, it's the dishwasher,
Just overall have empathy for the situation that people are in, and stay safe and
stay positive.
Yeah, be kind to people. It's a tough time for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you are out and just don't be stingy with the smiles. Be generous with people.
Thanks, Chris. So that's it from us today. Hopefully we'll be able to do another one of these soon, so that give you guys something to watch while you're knitting at home.
We'll do another one soon. What else are we going to do? We're in here for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, so stay safe, be happy, guys, and keep knitting.